Sunlight goes in the top and flourishes the area around it, sort of feeds it. A lot of nutrition coming out of there. In the background, the Marina Bay Sands Hotel, the player hotel for this season-ending championship. And those super trees, sort of little harbingers. There's going to be some big names that are going to be falling today. We anticipate on moving day, day 4 at the WTA Finals Singapore. Agnieszka Radwanska and Caroline Wozniacki can hold their fate in their own hands for a Final Four appearance, and they're ready to take the court. That have known each other since they were 10. Today they'll be friends? No. Foes. They will fight for a spot amongst the Final Four. Caroline Wozniacki.
From Poland, please welcome Agnieszka Radwanska.
That's an electric and exciting entrance for the 8 best players in 2014. Agnieszka Radwanska came into this tournament on a downward slope. Things had not gone well for her. 4-4 in her last 8 matches, including a 1-3 record over her last 4. So there was not a lot of momentum for the pole to come in. But she had a fantastic performance in her opening match, and now she'll take on a woman that she is all too familiar with, both on and off the court, her good friend, Caroline Wozniacki. It's our first match on our 4th day of coverage. The 2014 BNP Paribas WTA Finals in Singapore, presented by SC Global. Hello, tennis fan. We hope you're excited because today is the day that will decide, undoubtedly, who will be the first to move into the semifinals. Now, it's not a foregone conclusion, and it is certainly not guaranteed, but both of these players today can help their cause and solidify that position. Agnieszka Radwanska needs a straight sets win. She's in the last 4. If she gets a win over Wozniacki, she needs help in the later match, as does Caroline. If she's victorious today, she needs some help in the match between Petra Kvitova and Maria Sharapova. But first things first, let's get started. As the fan support here in Singapore has been marvelous, and they are looking forward to this encounter between the former world number 2 Radwanska and the former 2-time year-end number 1 Wozniacki.
Okay, I didn't get it what you said, but it's okay. Same conditions, nothing special, just make it clear when you want to challenge, especially during a rally. Any questions? Heads or tails? Heads. Heads? Heads.
Sir?
You serve?
First day.
Okay.
Well, maybe the friendship isn't exactly on hold, as they have a nice exchange at the net. How you doing? How was your morning? Did you have something nice for breakfast? Not exactly sure what they said, but it wasn't exactly the most tense of moments between Radwanska and Wozniacki. Ni hao, hello and welcome, tennis fan, inside Singapore Indoor Stadium. Kevin Skinner alongside Hall of Famer Tracy Austin. Agnieszka Radwanska lives in Krakow, Poland, the former number 2 in the world. Plays the role of big sister to 1 year younger Ula, but most of all, she is the reigning queen of that country, and she carries the hopes of that nation on her shoulders each and every time she steps on the court. And in 2014, she did not disappoint. In fact, Tracy, in her first 10 events, she got to the quarterfinals or better in 8 of them, including the final in Indian Wells and the Final 4 in Australia.
Absolutely. The finals of Indian Wells, lost to Flavia Pennetta. So actually that was a little bit of a surprise. In semifinals at the Australian Open, lost to Sibulkova after beating Azarenka in 3 sets in the quarterfinals.
She is playing for the 6th time in the last 7 years at this event. That does include 2 alternate appearances where she was able to compete. Her best result was 2 years ago, getting to the semifinals where she lost to the eventual champion Serena Williams, and it was a beatdown, 6-2, 6-1. Last year she didn't win a single match, so it was great to see her get off the schneid and get into the win column with a nice, impressive victory over Petra Kvitova.
Yeah, she actually said that because she hasn't played as many matches in the last couple of weeks, it's helped her a bit. She feels better than she did last year, whereas you mentioned she didn't win a match, so she's feeling more fresh.
Her 2nd win over the Czech in 7 tries, and both of them have come at the WTA finals, so something to build on for Agnieszka Radwanska. Across the net, as we said, we can't get past it. They are good friends. They've known each other for a long time. Her friends call her Sunshine. Caroline Wozniacki of Odense, Denmark, now makes her home, at least her postal code says Monaco. 8th in the world, but a former world #1. 2 times she finished in that position at the end of the year, and the 24-year-old in 2014 has seen a resurgence in her form, and she's actually come back a bit more aggressive. She's no longer just the retriever.
Absolutely. She's had such a terrific year since the French Open. After the French Open, she was 27th on the road to Singapore. And since then has been so resurgent, seeing winning Istanbul just right after Wimbledon, got to the finals of the US Open.
Tracy, she's 32-9 in the last 5 months, and in that period of time since June, nobody has won more matches. At this event, she was a finalist in Doha 4 years ago, did not qualify last year or the year prior, so it's good to see her back in the form that could bring her to the season-ending championships.
Absolutely, and what's happened is she's become a lot more aggressive. She's extremely fit. She's running the New York Marathon in a week and a half, so the Sunday after the WTA finals ends, she said she's a little nervous about competing at the marathon, but it's given her a good goal, and it certainly helped keep her in shape, and therefore helped her in that long 3-setter in beating Maria Sharapova 6-2 in the 3rd, 3 hours and 13 minutes.
Tuesday night, perhaps a little mini marathon for her, just to see how she would test out for the streets of New York City. It was the first night match on Tuesday, and against Sharapova the anticipation was high, but it did not disappoint. The opening set alone took 74 minutes, and Wozniacki was down 4-2 in that opening set tiebreak, but found a way to come back.
Yeah, she's such an incredible competitor. So smart on court, knows her limitations,
2 minutes it is.
Moves extremely well.
2 minutes.
Gets that extra ball back and makes her opponents overplay.
We saw the interesting exchange between the two, and the man who seemed like he was left out of the third party there was Kader Nouni, who is our chair umpire from
He was like,
Perpignan, France.
hello,
He's like,
ladies.
Remember me, ladies? You'll hear from me today. The exchange between the two, was that something you ever experienced? Did you ever have a good friend on tour that even despite the tenseness of the moment and taking the court in competition, you were able to just go, hi, how are you today?
Well, it's unusual. We certainly do not see that very often. I can't remember ever seeing that, but yet these two ladies have known each other since they were 10 years old. Aga, of course, from Poland. Caroline grew up in Denmark, was born in Denmark, but of course her parents are originally Polish, so she would go back frequently in the summer and play in tournaments there. And in fact, Lisicki has Polish grandparents as well, and so she would go back there. So there's a long history between those 3 women.
They just have such pleasant personalities to begin with, so you can understand the attraction and friendship between them. And for Aga and Caroline, that's going to have to be put on hold at some point, maybe once we get to the match, because they are meeting for an 11th time. Wozniacki has the upper hand with 6 wins. We'll break that down a little bit more as the match unfolds. But certainly the most important aspect of today's encounter is who will have supremacy amongst the white group, who will get to the top of that and have the best chance of being the first to qualify from that group. That includes Maria Sharapova and Petra Kvitova. They'll both be in action later today. It's a great opportunity to just seize that spot and take a little bit of the pressure off and having to worry how things will unfold before we get to the weekend.
These two players have played so many times. Last time that they played was in Cincinnati in the summer.
Yeah, it was the quarterfinals.
Caroline Wozniacki was able to take that because, of course, she had such a resurgent summer. Wozniacki beat Radwanska 4-6. Radwanska got her the 3 times before that, but overall, Wozniacki leads the head-to-head 6-4.
Wozniacki taking a couple of extra serves just to make sure that she's got the right appreciation for the confines of the court, and also looking up, making sure the lights are fine here today. It is our 4th day of coverage of the BNP Paribas WTA Finals here in Singapore, presented by SC Global. The white group in round-robin play. Radwanska, Wozniacki, Poland versus Denmark. And atop the white group, they both stand, each with a match win. Radwanska's a little bit better, Tracy, than Caroline's because of the fact that she won in straight sets. And for Aga, her chances to get to the semifinals, if she beats Wozniacki in straight sets, it's done, dusted, stamp her as a semifinalist. For Caroline, it's a little bit different, but she still can get help. She gets the victory against Radwanska, and then the next match.
Sharapova would have to defeat Kvitova. So this is just such an interesting, unique competition, in that getting to the semifinals not only relies on your results, but others as well, unless, of course, you go undefeated.
Ready.
Agnieszka Radwanska won the coin toss, said, "I'd like to serve first, please," and she will do so as day 4 is underway in Singapore. That might be indicative, Tracy, of how this match is going to go.
Sit back, folks. Get a cool drink.
22-shot rally to begin the match.
That was actually in the corner on the right baseline. The ball was called out.
So a 22-shot rally followed by a challenge. See how things go as Radwanska looks up at the board.
Wow.
Call stands.
And the call stands. 2 millimeters.
Love 30.
I would expect very long rallies in this match.
15-30.
Both players instinctively counter-punchers. Both move extremely well, track so many balls down. Neither player has that one huge weapon to finish points off with. They usually get the job done with a combination of 2 or 3 shots.
30.
And both compete very well, but think so well on the court. They know their limitations and rarely play a bad shot. Terrific shot selection.
And neither panics. It is not a case where their games are such that they're going to hurt themselves very often. So when they get in a tough little patch of play, they can certainly turn things around because they never allow themselves emotionally to be taken out.
Yeah. And Radwanska, after a bit of a stumble out of the gates on the opening 2 points, no problem. She finds a way to 4 straight and the hold. Another long rally between them, 21 strokes.
second longest amongst the 5 or 6 points put in play thus far. Well, we talked about their head-to-head, Tracy. You mentioned their last meeting this year in Cincinnati quarterfinals. Wozniacki winning in straight sets. It's been an odd circumstance. Their first ever meeting was 2007 in Stockholm. It was Radwanska. Then Wozniacki ran off 5 consecutive matches, including a victory at this event in 2011. Radwanska turned the tables for 3 straight before Caroline won their only match this year. So that back and forth is what we've already seen in the rallies between these two, and it also portends to their history in the 10 previous matches.
5 just quickly, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Kevin, you made a good point about the demeanor of both these players. They compete so well that they don't panic, but they also don't panic during the point either, because they move so well. They trust their movement and their defensive skills. So they're in a defensive position. They try to get that point back to neutral. Like that right there, where there are some players that don't trust their movement. It's a bit of a liability, and so they know when they get out of position that they might have to go a lot bigger, because they might not be able to fill the open court on the next shot.
These two are comfortable to sit and wait to pull the trigger, where oftentimes, as you say, some players start to panic and get a little nervy.
So a match like this is really like a chess match. It's outmaneuvering their opponent, hitting deep, mixing in some angles. You'll see a lot more variety from Radwanska. She has the backhand slice.
Dad in tow and ensconced as coach. Caroline says she's done with the carousel. She says she just trusts in her father.
He's done a great job with her. I saw him before the match, regripping her rackets, testing the string tension. And she also said that she realized that when she wasn't traveling with her folks, and particularly her dad, her coach, she was lonely on tour. She said it's nice to have family aboard.
Just a little help for Radwanska as she gets to break point. Yeah, for a lot of people who only see Peter Wozniacki when he comes on court and talks to Caroline, he's pretty intense. It's a breathless monologue that's just coming at information right at Caroline oftentimes. But off the court, he has a very relaxed demeanor with a ready and very quick smile.
Yes.
And that provides a lot of solace for Caroline, doesn't it?
Yeah, just like Caroline, she is so interactive with all the players.
Now back and forth they go.
Dude.
It's just a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? Wozniacki gets Radwanska to offer up the mistake and saves break point. Thus far, we've only paid 12 points, and the average rally length already is 12 shots.
Phenomenal. That's the added element that Aga has, that more diversity. Excellent backhand slice, but she can disguise it so well and hit the drop shot. That drop shot actually was a little deep, but her anticipation and one-handed backhand lob measured it perfectly.
I think the word you used earlier that was so significant for this match in these two is trust. Aga trusts in each and every one of her shots. That one right there, almost effortless to go up and over. Second try at 2-love. And she's got it. Takes it out of the air. Tomasz Wiktorowski, her coach, a little fist pump. He's pleased. He couldn't have been more pleased with how Aga performed in her opening match. And she picks up where she left off. A terrific start.
In comparing the two games, Aga has Tomasz Wiktorowski, Agnieszka's coach. Aga has a little more variety, as I mentioned, more spins, more versatility. She's very comfortable at the net. Caroline, not so much at the net. But Caroline does have a little more firepower on her serve and on her backhand. And certainly Wozniacki's improvement this summer has come with more power on her serve, using her legs more. Her legs are stronger while training for the marathon. Her forehand has more penetration as well. She's flattened it out a bit.
Aga just fighting to defend herself at the net as Wozniacki takes a love 30 lead. For our viewing audience, and maybe those here in Singapore who are new to the exposure of tennis in person, for anyone watching at home who wouldn't understand, explain the dynamic and the physicality of how the leg strength can actually help a player with power in their ground strokes.
Yeah, you need your legs. That's the power source, is using everything in your body. There you can see that she loads with the legs and then pushes forward, and it just helps the racket head. The more that you can use all parts of your body and together,
15-30,
in unison, with the load, the good shoulder turn, the hip turn, the legs bent in an athletic position, then coil up and then uncoil together with great racket head speed, the more power you're going to have with loose arms.
Because I think anybody who's sort of new to watching the sport would think, well, it's got to be shoulder strength, right? I mean, you're striking with your arm, but it's actually the rest of your body, your core, your legs, that help propel yourself into positions so you can use the arm to just guide.
Yeah, it's actually, the shoulder strength is a misdemeanor, because that would be muscling the ball, and muscling means you tighten up your muscles, which means you actually slow down your racket head speed. You want it to be as quick as possible through the hit point.
Certainly one of the most fluid, almost balletic of players on tour, Agnieszka Radwanska. The way she can move to balls, and watch her come in.
But high tennis IQ, sees that Wozniacki is in trouble. She's going to float the ball, and in she comes where she feels so comfortable.
And Wozniacki returns the favor. Early doors, 2 breaks of serve in 3 games as we approach 2 p.m. local time in Singapore on a Thursday at the WTA Finals. right, tennis fan, here's what we put towards you. Hopefully, you'll have a moment to just get yourself comfortable. Maybe go pop some popcorn, a nice little drink, maybe Snuggie, whatever it takes for you to feel comfortable and just sit back, relax, and watch tennis, because this could go on for a while. Thus far, we have already seen 3 games, and we've seen some extended rallies, to say the least, as Caroline Wozniacki and Agnieszka Radwanska tangle once again, an 11th time, with the Dane holding a 6-4 advantage. And right now, she's a hold away from making it 2-all in the opening set. Did you invest in a Snuggie?
You know what? My mother-in-law gave me a Snuggie for Christmas one year.
Did it have butterflies on it?
It didn't.
Okay.
Aggie was asked about her dress and press. He asked, have you ever worn a dress with butterflies on it? And she said no. I think she looks beautiful.
Well, she's gone with the sleeveless variety. We've seen Petra Kvitova and Carla Suarez Navarro go with the sleeves. Aga likes to have that freedom, that movement.
Aga has an excellent drop shot, particularly off that backhand side. But she's going to have to use them at the right time, because Caroline is so quick with that first step. The right time meaning Caroline well behind the baseline, so she doesn't have as much time to track it down.
Let's service.
That's the power on that backhand. That's the most powerful ground stroke on the court.
30-15.
Really steps in with that front foot and unloads, and then gets the swinging volley. That is an excellent overhead. Boy, that was a high lob. And smart from Wozniacki to send it up that high to test the timing of Radwanska. She was very calm and getting ready for this overhead. Hardly moved her feet, but was in the right position. She is such a great shot maker, Radwanska.
30-40.
Now 5 for 6 at the net, and she's just so unusual. You rarely see a player move in to the forecourt on a shot like that. They choose to hit the forehand and stay back, but you never know what you're going to get from Radwanska. She has a break point.
Forehand gets her a third consecutive break between them. I should say twice breaking Wozniacki, but she was broken in her last service game, so that is 3 in a row as the server struggles a bit.
And there's the difference between the two at the net, where Radwanska is so comfortable in her movement up there, her positioning, and the technique on the volley. Caroline 1 for 6 at the net.
15 love.
Agnieszka won her 14th career title during the summer in North America,
15-0.
winning in Montreal, posting some nice victories. Lisicki, Azarenka, who's had an off year to say the least. Makarova, who's here as an alternate before defeating Venus Williams in the final in straight sets. And that was all well and good, but then things started to just slide, take a downward turn. She did reach the quarters in Cincinnati, lost to the woman she's facing today. Just missing is Wozniacki, and it caused a bit of a just literally a downward trend. She was only able to win back-to-back matches once the remainder of the year, including the U.S. Open, and entered here, Tracy, with a 1-3 record over her last 4 matches. So the win over Petra Kvitova, and decisively, was such a nice boon for her and a boost for her morale.
Just wide. Yeah, the decisiveness of the win over Kvitova was a little surprise as well, because Kvitova has actually been on fire the second half of the year since winning Wimbledon, winning in Wuhan as well. Whereas Radwanska, as you said, really struggling to put up the wins. The U.S. Open lost to Peng Shuai. That was in the second round.
One of the reasons these 8 players are here is because more often than not, predominantly, they beat the players they're supposed to beat. But losing to Peng Shuai, Lepchenko, Garcia, Vinci, all players middling around the 40s. Surprising losses, and her confidence took a hit. But she beat Kvitova 6-2, 6-3 2 days ago. She's forgotten all about that.
Two swinging volleys and an overhead to finally get it done against Radwanska. Her anticipation is really second to none on tour. Reads the ball so well. And is able to improvise.
Wozniacki's got some improvisational skills herself.
The advantage, Wozniacki.
Man alone with his thoughts. We expect to hear at some point from Piotr Wozniacki. He has to be pleased right now as his daughter looking to get back on serve.
That was a much better time to drop shot. Radwanska was well inside the baseline, so therefore not as long for the ball to travel.
The advantage, the Wozniacki.
Third double. going for a little more on that second serve. Both players' second serves are attackable.
Like that. But you tell me, challenge or not?
She thought about it. It seemed as if she, without question, indicated challenge. But that, my hand didn't go up.
Well, he said it's like that, and he indicated it's 4 to 6 inches out. Are you sure you want a challenge? And she said no. That was a little hint.
So, Nooney help, and she saves the challenge.
Now that is an unusual error.
Advantage, Wozniacki.
Wozniacki saying thank you very much for that gift, because usually I have to work.
Consecutive breaks of serve, and the marathon opening set already continues. Look at the scoreboard. Played 5 games, 26 minutes. Settle in.
3 games to 2.
Czyli po prostu grasz dobrze, jest ok, wszystko bardzo dobrze pracuje ci forehand, jesteś skoncentrowana, wszystko jest ok. Graj do końca, tylko mówię ci, musisz być bardziej efektywna z backhandu, dobra? Super.
Super.
Back in Singapore, as if on cue, Piotr Wozniacki comes down to speak to Caroline to talk about how to approach this match and what has transpired already through 5 games. I don't think he was saying, okay, you can invite her over for a sleepover after the match, but forget that she's your friend. Let's go. Let's get this done. He is a loquacious one, Mr. Wozniacki, but he had a lot to say. It'll be interesting when he's able to bring the handheld device, a tablet, and come down with the SAP information that's going to be available in 2015 to be able to show Caroline, all right, instead of just me telling you, this is where I want you to hit the ball. Announcement made this week, and Tracy, you were a part of that announcement, as how the WTA is transforming how the game of tennis is viewed, not only by the public, but by the players themselves.
Yeah, as of now, the coaches get the SAP stats so that the coaches can see the patterns and of play after the matches. But next year, the coaches are going to be able to have a tablet during the match, and when they go on court to do their on-court coaching, they're going to be able to see the trends.
And they can request specifically to the match items that they want to see in specific.
Absolutely. For example, if they want to see where their opponent has a tendency to serve on break points, or where they tend to hit the forehand from the middle of the court, they can ask for those specific stats.
Important to note that it is the coaching aspect that is permissible in the WTA, where the coach can bring that information to the court. The players themselves will not be able to have, you know, their phone or iPad or tablet off to the side to be able to look at it and view themselves. So in that regard, the rules stay the same, and yeah, there's no chance to phone a friend, try to get out of trouble. Can I have a lifeline? You can if you call your coach onto the court, and it'll be interesting to see how that sort of plays out in 2015 and how the coaches feel about it. You certainly hope there's no bugs in the system and no upgrades on the software causes any problems, but you wouldn't expect that. SAP has been tracking this information for the better part of the last year and a half. They're very confident in their ability to put that information into play. Just to put the caveat on that, the final little note is that you at home, as a
14,
viewer, will also
15.
be able to have access to that information. So as Piotr Wozniacki or any other coach, Thomas Viktorowski, comes out and shows it to their player, you too will have the chance to view that info.
Chance to hold here for Wozniacki. There's only been one hold in the match, and that was Radwanska the first game.
Wozniacki.
And lo and behold, we have a hold. Wozniacki evens the score through 6.
3 games all.
Well, as we do from time to time, we invite you warmly, cordially, to go to facebook.com/WTA. Now, if you're interested in these WTA finals and there's a couple things you'd like to know, let's just say 10 each day. The very talented communications department, it's Kay Fish, Johnny B, Eloise, Sneds, Jeff, Shenzhen, the whole crew. They're long and distinguished. Can't get everybody in, but they provide 10 things you need to know for Thursday in Singapore at facebook.com/WTA. It's right there waiting for you now.
Locked in.
Do you want a little taste, Trace? You want a little tease of the 10
Sure.
things you need to know today? Well, I followed my own advice and I found it. And Wozniacki, even though she holds the 6-4 indoor
15-0.
slight edge in the head-to-head between these two, 6-4 overall, she's won both meetings indoors. How do you like that?
I like that. Yeah, Radwanska talked about that there's so few events now on the tour that are indoors. Wozniacki clearly thought that ball was wide.
It's a good. Yeah, he does like that, but you didn't say anything. You just went for the sign-out. Is that a challenge?
How can I see it if I don't see it?
No, but I mean, did you hear something?
Yeah, but it's not.
I know that. I mean, if you saw it out, it was a challenge or not. But it just said the signals. It was just.
Wozniacki challenged the goal on the left center line. The goal was called in.
So Wozniacki saying she saw his hand go out, but he never made a sound. So she clearly needs to challenge that, and she does, and it's in.
Cossens.
You're not going to try to hit a backhand and look back at the hand of the baselinesman.
It's a good. Yeah, he does like that, but you didn't say anything. You just went for the sign-out. Is that a challenge? No.
It was kind of nice.
That was a replay that we just showed you to let you know what Caroline was talking about. Yeah, it was distracting.
Yeah, but she shouldn't be looking back if she's trying to hit a backhand. So Nooney's right. There was no sound.
Four to 15.
And that's where coming up to the drop shot, Radwanska's hands are a little softer.
Let the service.
It's one of her best assets, as she has such great hands and ability to hit through the ball, but also great finesse, great feel.
40-30.
Both with good first service percentage. Wozniacki was 74, Radwanska was 66, but they're struggling. Wozniacki struggling to win points on her first serve, and Radwanska on her second serve. Now that's where Wozniacki has improved, that forehand down the line in particular. For a couple of years, she hit it cross-court well, but still not as linear, not driving through the ball, but the down the line always kind of massaged it, guided it up the line. That forehand really drove it and set up the swing volley.
Change in emphasis on that shot. It gives her a better chance.
That's amazing. She's the magician. And that's why frequently throughout the year she is on the highlight reel.
She's just stealth to be able to come in that quickly.
This ball is dipping at her feet. That's tough to get in anywhere, let alone make a winner like this. Talking about terrific hands.
Well, that'll be worthy of her nickname that's been bestowed. You know it's coming. Wait for it. Ninja.
To me, it's the magician.
You like the magician?
I like the magician.
Santoro signed off on that?
Well, he's retired.
Passed the torch?
He's done.
Okay. You gotta
You
like
have
those.
one on the men's tour and one on the ladies tour.
She comes in with that soft, sneaky little pitter patter, and she can slice and dice.
Latin service.
Just standing there minding your own business, and then boom, there she is.
She looked out of it a couple of times, Radwanska.
I'm telling you.
There's even a smile, seems to be a smile on Wozniacki's face. Like, you know what, that's too good.
And Tracy, it's there.
Advantage, Radwanska.
Watch this.
I was on the full stretch, and she slices underneath the ball just enough to get the backspin. Even if Wozniacki is close to getting there, the spin moves away from her.
And so finally cut. We should maybe call her Ginsu.
Yay.
Well, we'll stay with Ninja for now.
Radwanska, you will
following a
speak.
contagious serving line. A quartet of consecutive breaks leads to a pair of holds. And Poland's top player is out in front, opening set. Poised to move into the semifinals and doing so in an entertaining fashion. We can already hear the cuts and the rewinding and all the stuff. They're going nuts in the edit bay trying to put together the highlights from this match already. And they have just played 7 games in 41 minutes.
Usually see one of those shots per tournament from a player, not 3 in one game.
Radwanska and Wozniacki each have 47 wins on the year. That's 10 less than the WTA leader, Anna Ivanovic, and Radwanska one additional match, playing in her 67th contest of the year. One of them is going to have a great shot at the last 4 at the WTA finals with a victory in this encounter and find themselves with a 48th match win on the season.
Love.
Crowds here in Singapore have been phenomenal. 1:30 on a Thursday afternoon, just about packed. Yesterday at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday was the first match, and it was packed. This is the first time holding the WTA finals here in Singapore, first of 5 years. Clearly it was a great move.
9th different city over the course of the history of this event. First time that anyone of those cities have held it for more than 4 years. 5-year commitment, and I'll tell you what, Tracy, they're putting their best foot forward for hosting it for the next 10, 15 years.
Where was it for 4 years? Was it Madison Square Garden?
Madison Square Garden, it was not. They hosted once in 1977 and then again in 79 and 2000. It was Los Angeles between 2002 and 2005 that they had it for those 4 years.
Flash, please. Thank you.
Los Angeles and New York City, the only cities to host this tournament twice in different successions.
Thank you. Please.
Just testing you. And you're a better person than I. I would have thrown me under the bus. New York City did host for an extended stay more than 2 decades.
21 years.
Yeah.
I thought it was there for a while. I knew I played there a few number of years.
They call it fuzzy math. You were a part of that long stretch there and enjoyed success back in 1980. Champion.
Carolyn had given up on the point, thought she had a winner. Never do that against Radwanska. I think she's still really frustrated from that point 2 points ago, where it looked like she had a winner. She was off in the alley and stopped, didn't get back into the center of the court. When Radwanska got the ball back, she wasn't really prepared. She had Radwanska completely off the court. Had a bit of a mental lapse 2 points ago.
The advantage, Wozniacki.
Push wide from the backhand side as Radwanska allows Wozniacki to tie the opening set. Starting to see the unforced errors creep just a bit for Radwanska. Now 14 on the day against 13 winners, -1 the differential. Caroline always consistent, seemingly always hovering around the +1, +2 for the course of a match. Doesn't really hurt herself too often, and she's right there today. 10 winners, 8 unforced errors.
Interesting stats, though, because Radwanska with 14 unforced errors, you usually don't see that number up so high, but also 13 winners. So she is trying to be more aggressive today. Both of these players instinctively more counterpunchers, but they're trying to add that other element of aggression. That's one way to do it. First ace.
Radwanska pumping an ace. That's impressive. Not something you see very often.
No, good direction as well. She has great placement on her serve.
It's a rarity. It's like seeing videos on MTV. Doesn't happen very often. Oh, she's just too good. And again, if you haven't had a chance to witness Aga Radwanska before or very often, this is something she can do at will.
She has her run from deep in the backhand court to short in the forehand court, and that's when you throw in the drop shot, particularly when you have as good a backhand drop shot as Radwanska does. Frustrated with herself because she had her racket on the ball, but just enough power from Wozniacki that Radwanska couldn't get around the outside of this backhand. That was a huge point. Really the best service game for Radwanska in this match by far. Picking her spots,
30.
mixing them up, a little more velocity.
And her best service game gets her a hold for a third time, despite being broken twice. Number 3 puts her to the lead. The pressure will be on Caroline Wozniacki to perform.
5 games to 4.
She'll serve to stay in the opening frame. Minutes. She's taken 5 of the first 9 games. Well, Tracy, you're a Southern California girl. You're familiar with the expression stoked. Right? Well, if you make the WTA Finals Singapore, you're pretty stoked even if you just play one match and you lose. $100 grand in the pocket of such a performer, but you certainly like to do better than that as the players are trying to endeavor to procure wins and put more money in their pockets. It's a big payday, $6.5 million purse.
So these two have already won one match, $243,000 at least. You win 2.
You know who else is stoked? Billie Jean King, who, by the way, is in town. She has arrived, and she has been the proponent, not only the founder of this tour, but the proponent to raise that prize money, get the exposure out there, allow these phenomenal athletes to benefit, certainly financially. You can also win the trophy that has her name if you ultimately prevail on the last day here. We'll be looking for Billie Jean King around the grounds, perhaps have a chance to chat with her.
Saw her earlier today. She's so passionate about tennis. It's always great to see Billie. She had a press conference about 12:30 today. Shot against Radwanska because she is so handy around the forecourt. And this dipper just didn't have enough on it from Wozniacki. Plenty of time for Radwanska to do her magic. That backhand, such great feel.
She's crafty.
Just enough power on that cross court.
30-15.
Radwanska couldn't control the slice up the line and redirecting the change of directions.
40-15.
Radwanska's going to be furious with herself because it looked like she was in control of that point. Just clips the net. Ball got a little too close to her. The net is her friend there, and Radwanska with enough time for the pass.
40-30.
That drop shot has been successful today.
Well, she saw Wozniacki dip down, almost get a right knee on the ground, and that's a perfect opportunity. Recognition of the moment that left Caroline a little vulnerable. She still got to the ball thanks to hitting the tape, but opened up so much real estate. Radwanska still a threat in this 10th game.
Wow. She has clearly decided that she needs to go a little bigger, Radwanska, even if she makes more errors. Those ground strokes really punishing and hitting so early. There she inside the baseline. Even on her back foot there hits a winner.
6th from the forehand side amongst the 17 she's amassed. More importantly, she's got to even terms, and she is just 2 points from grabbing this set. Sometimes the expression's used, and I defer to you, Tracy, but a bad miss. She really wanted to try to drive that backhand, so you can't fault her for going for it.
No, that's part of the strategy today, clearly. Because against Kvitova today, I think she made very few unforced errors. Seemed like less than 10.
More like a good miss in some respect. Really wanting to try to find a way to get deep on the return.
On the right, near the line. The ball was going in.
Radwanska asked for the challenge. Hope that Wozniacki's shot to her backhand was out. It was not.
Close in.
And that means the hold for Caroline for 5-all.
Game. Wozniacki. 5 games old. Radwanska has 1 challenge remaining.
That's tremendous. Just great defense to get there, and then offense up the line. 5th backhand winner from Wozniacki. Uses so much left hand to flick that ball in up the line. She's predominantly left-handed on that two-hander as it is. You're not going to find another player on tour that uses that left hand more on the two-hander.
Who's the next closest? Would you say perhaps Sharapova?
No, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, honestly, her left hand is about 75% of that two-handed backhand, and it seems like because of her grip, it's a different grip. That right hand isn't, the knuckle's not all the way on the top. So therefore, the left hand does a lot of the work. She moved and hit that beautiful angle. That's just so athletic.
30-15.
Very few players can hit that volley. That looks like Martina Navratilova-like. Second serve, 116 kilometers an hour.
That's just putting it up on the tee, isn't it?
Yeah, she punished that.
Plenty of time to look at it. Down at her watch. Say we've been playing for 59 minutes. Oh, here's your return winner. This one just overstruck just a bit too hard. Missing the mark. Could have put her in position to break to serve out the set herself, but Wozniacki, Arendt, and Radwanska just might be able to reclaim the lead.
That's again what you'd call, Kev, a good miss. Just the execution wasn't there, but she had the opportunity. Radwanska missing more first serves in this game than she did at 4-all. That 4-all game, she was an outstanding service game for her. A lot of first serves, good placement. Lifted up on that forehanded impact, sent it long. Wozniacki.
Minute past an hour on court. 11th game. Imaginary rope between these two. Just the tug of war continues. Each trying to put themselves atop the white group in sole possession of a 2-0 record. So important for making the move so that you can relax just a bit. If they can qualify today, either Radwanska or Wozniacki, they can just step back a bit, realize they're going to the semifinals and have a legitimate shot at the title here.
Great return by Wozniacki, inside out backhand. And she's inside the baseline here, looking to attack.
And Caroline does have the break. Her third of the match will allow her access to a one-set lead if she in turn can hold serve. First match of the day on day 4, round robin action from Singapore. The Great Dane from Odense, Denmark, Caroline Wozniacki, two-time year-end #1, back to the WTA finals for the first time since 2011, when she was omnipresent for a couple of years. Here's her chance to close the door on her one-set lead against Agnieszka Radwanska. It's been an exciting match already, 64 minutes on court, 11 games played. But a third break for Wozniacki gives her the shot for set #1.
deep second serve. Wozniacki has a little more juice on her second serve than Radwanska.
No.
And Radwanska wants to prolong the proceedings, not content to concede the 12th game. She says, let's play 13. And makes a case with another terrific shot in the middle of the court. It has been a very entertaining opening set, and as much as Radwanska has entertained as she is prone to do with her wide variety of shots and skills, it's Wozniacki who has shown, well, you can have some flash, but if you've got the substance, you can depend on your ground strokes, well, it can often get it done. Set point for the Dane. Wozniacki, an impressive 3-hour-plus performance against Maria Sharapova 2 days ago. Backs it up with another marathon opening set.
7 games to 5.
67 minutes to a 1-set lead in Singapore. Wozniacki in 2014 won a title in Istanbul, and all that means is that she is once again consistent in and out year after year, able to win titles. That's 7 consecutive seasons that she's won at least one title, and she finds herself back at the WTA finals trying to vie for her first ever season-ending championship run. Agnieszka Radwanska back to the drawing board. She held to start off the match and then just had a little bit of erraticism start to fall in, creep in. And the solid effort from Caroline Wozniacki nets her a 1-set lead.
15 low.
That constant pressure from Wozniacki getting so many balls back in play, along with a little more pace on her ground strokes towards the end of that set. That's just phenomenal. I mean, the reason we make such a big deal about Aga is these are shots from Aga that you just don't see from other players. That type of touch. And that's a shot right there that someone would usually let drop, come back up and try to drive cross court. That's an ordinary shot that most people play.
further your point, what is remarkable about Radwanska is because she doesn't have that power, she has to rely on other things, and she can make the extraordinary look ordinary.
Absolutely.
So when she makes a shot like that running volley, that's such a great angle and such a flat shot that you're comparing to that of Martina Navratilova, certainly high praise, but also that's part of the aspect that makes her so exciting.
Well, just that it's so different. It's out of the ordinary.
Her easiest hold to date at love to put herself to the lead once again. Very similar, in fact, exactly as this match started off. We'll see if she can hold on to this lead as we take a look back at the numbers from the set that she ultimately could not pull off.
Radwanska taking more of the risks in this match with 19 winners and 19 unforced. But it's +4 differential for Wozniacki, winners to unforced, that really made the difference in that extra break of serve as well.
Yeah, coming late in game 11. And speaking of 11, of those 19 unforced errors that Aga hit in the opening set, 11 came from the forehand side. So where she can often control the ball and has the most control off the wing, it was a bit errant, and a lot of those started to pile up late in the set, and Caroline was able to take advantage.
Yeah, particularly on set point on a second serve, she drove the return in the net, which was unusual. Again, it has to be in that cumulative pressure from Caroline getting so many balls back in play. She's a great competitor, Wozniacki. Always has been. One of her best assets.
Love.
Mentioned that title run in Istanbul, helping secure a 7th consecutive year with at least one title, matching her output in 2013. Half of what she accomplished in 2012, winning Seoul and Moscow. And then there were, of course, those ridiculous years in 2010 and 2011. And she just blew things up. And
Nice.
had to basically do a full house renovation to make room for all the trophies. She had 6 titles in each of 2010 and 2011.
That's a squash shot off the net. Not quite deep enough on this lob, but great back pedal.
Well, Caroline looks across to good friend Aga.
One game over.
You hold it, love. Serving things a bit contagious today. I'll hold it, love. 1-all. Well, looking at the positioning where Caroline has been able to strike the ball, there's a stark contrast between this match and that of hers in Tuesday against Sharapova.
You really have to adjust to what your opponent is sending to you. And Sharapova hit so hard and flat and through the baseline that Wozniacki had to stand a little bit further back and behind the baseline, whereas Radwanska not quite as powerful. So she'll get a few shorter shots. She's been able to take more balls out of the air as well.
It's going to be a little bit skewed as well because Sharapova probably hit 3-4 drop shots through the entirety of the match. Aga probably dropped those in the first 2 games. But still, you make a great point because of the style of ball that's coming back at you, where Sharapova really drives you back towards the Singapore sign.
Well, that's an example right there. She was, even though she missed it, she was 3 feet inside the baseline to hit that second serve. Not against Sharapova. But overall, that has been the goal of Peter and Caroline, is for her to be more aggressive and stand close to that baseline, better court positioning.
I almost seemed tethered for all those years just to that baseline, just running right across it as if on rails now. A little more emphasis on moving in.
But too frequently she was getting 5-6 feet behind the baseline.
And that's when it was hard for her to succeed against the upper echelon. we've seen that. We've already seen a turn here. She hasn't had great success, Tracy, against the top most elite players. The win over Sharapova was certainly a step in the right direction. A really big one for Caroline.
Her win over world number 2 Sharapova a couple of days ago was just her second career win over a top 2 opponent. The other one was Zvonareva, who was ranked 2. That was at 2010 WTA finals.
Yeah, Doha. Saw that match. As we called it, we were saying, well, maybe this is a harbinger of things to come. But it really didn't materialize as Caroline continued for the next couple of years to have her problems when she faced top 5, certainly top 3 opponents.
Watch this cat and mouse move. This fake by Radwanska, but couldn't control it.
Dang.
3 straight holds of serve, 4 if we go back to the conclusion of the opening set. We continue on. Wozniacki versus Radwanska. Their 11th meeting comes at the WTA finals. Caroline Wozniacki trying to capitalize on a terrific performance that came on Tuesday night in her opening match against Maria Sharapova. It was back and forth. It was exciting. Certainly the opening set was 74 minutes. She took in a tiebreak after trailing 4-2 in that 13th game. Dropped the second set in a tiebreak, but ran away with it 6-2 to defeat Sharapova and find herself with a terrific chance to make the semifinals. A victory over Radwanska today, and then a little help later from Maria Sharapova. If she can beat Petra Kvitova. Caroline's back to the last 4 at the WTA finals. She has just broken Agnieszka Radwanska to move ahead 2-1. And that gives us an opportunity as we pause. Everybody sets themselves and is ready in Singapore Indoor Stadium to welcome another distinguished guest. It's not her first time in Singapore. She was here back in January to kick off the road to Singapore and really build up some excitement. And traveling with the youngster, the youngest player here amongst the last 8, 20-year-old Jeannie Bouchard. It is none other than the ageless Chris Evert.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. I like that introduction.
Chrissy, welcome.
Thank you, Tracy.
Great to see you.
Tracy, I've never worked with you before. This could be the first and the last time.
Well, we'll see how things go. Your audition is now starting here.
Okay.
It's wonderful to see you, Chris, and you've known that coming here since January, you've known that this was going to arrive for the first of 5 years, and the anticipation was high. Did you feel it then that there would be excitement for this event, or were you a little uncertain, wanted to see once you got here again?
I did. I did feel it, and you mentioned Jeannie Bouchard, who had no idea she would actually be here, and it was really interesting, you know, when she did come, and she was flattered she was invited, but she goes, I'm probably not even going to be able to play this championships unless I have a great year. And sure enough, she had a great year. But I could sense it in meetings with the organizers of the tournament, the sponsors, that everybody was really excited. And I mean, what about how much tennis has grown in Asia, period, has been phenomenal. I mean, I've never seen it this big ever.
Just want to say Chrissy and I work for different networks in the States, so that's why Chrissy was saying the first name.
Yes.
Not because we don't love each other.
No, we do.
Because this goes around the world and people might not understand
I would love to be able to sit here and trade thoughts with Tracy, but we do. We work for sort of rival networks in the States, but we see each other at Grand Slams, and we always have a lot of laughs.
friendly rivalry. You know, Coke needs Pepsi and McDonald's needs Burger King, and we need Austin and Everett. Radwanska trying to get right back at Wozniacki and doing a great job. Triple break point and just pushes that forehand as she seeks 2-all. Going back to the idea of what tennis means to this region,
14.
and I put this to both of you. What are your remembrances of when you played and traveling to Asia, where there weren't very many tournaments, were there, and maybe exhibitions?
You know, I played a lot in Japan. I mean, that was the popular country. They loved tennis players. They loved blonde tennis players. And there are a lot of tournaments there. But no, I never played. Did you play in China?
I did not. Japan, like you said.
Japan was the hot spot.
I think we actually both had a clothing line in Japan.
Yes, yes. But now it's just moved to so many different countries, and you're seeing players coming out of those countries, which is really exciting.
I think Li Na helped immensely, of course, to expand the WTA into China, into Asia, and of course had a new tournament in Wuhan just this year in her hometown, just the week before she retired. But
well, there was some forethought, though, by the WTA, because they did establish a Beijing office even before Li Na had really ascended to the greatness that she accomplished in her 2 majors. So they must have had a little inkling that this was the next market that we were going to have to get to, that it coincided with her and her tremendous talent and success.
But I think Stacey Alistair is has been a big factor in the development and the growth of tennis, women's tennis over here.
We'll get to this match in a moment, Chris, because we'd like to hear you break it down. But just to finish that thought, it was an interesting note that was posed to us before this tournament started. And one of the reasons to bring tennis to Singapore is because of its location. 40% of the globe's population is within 7 hours of this city nation. And that is the exposure that the WTA is trying to get to bring tennis right to the forefront of the people who live in this area. Okay, so message received.
Okay.
Now, let's break it down, because I can't wait to hear what you two have to say about this match.
Well, first of all, the court's slow.
It is.
All right, now, and I haven't been listening to your commentary because I've been watching the match down there a little bit. I don't know if you comment on that, but I think you can. That's reflective in the upsets of this tournament. Who's doing well? You know, the baseline, the players that don't necessarily have the power. Radwanska, of course, upset Kvitova, and Wozniacki beat Sharapova, and Halep beat Serena. So all the power players have lost matches, and I think a lot of it's because of the slowness of the court, and it's just giving these players like Radwanska or Wozniacki time to hit their shots where they want to hit them.
Yeah, the power diffused a bit with the roughness of the surface.
And interesting that those 3 players you mentioned, who are 1, 2, and 3, Serena, Maria, and Petra, are the only 3 former champions of this event. So it's sort of opening up the field when everyone thought, okay, well, they have the experience, they have the knowledge of what it takes to win the WTA finals.
And I think you can tell even by watching it on TV. I'm watching it right now, and the ball's not flying through the air and flying after it bounces. It's not skidding like normally it would be doing on a faster court. And it's just giving these players, baseliners, more time.
And they've also talked about the bounce. Not only is it slower, but they've said the bounce is really high.
And that also means Serena's serve is going to be a little more returnable. That's the biggest weapon she has.
We've seen some pretty tense and long duration exchanges between these two today, haven't we?
It reminds me of playing Tracy. Yours, my matches, wow. Yeah, they're both grinding it out, and it's just hard for either one of them to really overpower the other, and they're relying on their athleticism and their core coverage and, you know, really precision more than power at this point.
called long, and
Well,
Caroline
the call,
says,
the left
can you cue
baseline.
up
The ball was called
that electronic
out.
review we call a challenge? Big moment for Wozniacki if she can get the call overturned. The call was out.
Gossen. Deuce.
That feels good in the chair when you're validated by the challenge system,
Wozniacki has two
rather than
challenges
the
to make.
opposite. To deuce.
So, Chrissy, how do you explain the resurgence of Wozniacki in the last, what, 4 or 5 months? 4 months.
Yeah, really since June.
Radwanska.
Well, you know, maybe she had more focus after, you know, starting in the beginning of the summer. I think she just had more focus. I mean, basically, we all know about the breakup that she and Rory had in.
Okay.
Then we saw Rory win a major title, and it was great to see Caroline also start winning some tournaments and playing better.
That seemed to kickstart the year in 2014, and here she finds herself in Singapore. Up a set, but down 2-3 in the second.
No to wtedy, wiesz, nic się nie dzieje, Karolina. Ty masz wtedy przewagę, jak widzisz, gdzie grać. Jak zagrałaś dłużej, nie wróciłaś. I wszystkie piłki, które są znoszące, jak one spadają, to jest cięższe.
Back in Singapore, Caroline Wozniacki took the opening set in 67 minutes alongside Hall of Famers Tracy Austin and Chrissy Everett. You know, sometimes you sort of think about when Piotr comes down to talk to Caroline Wozniacki and he's saying stuff and he doesn't pause. There's no punctuation. She wants to go back and say, what was the second thing you said?
I love the relationship that they have, though. I think it's wonderful. And, you know, she's been through other coaches before, but she always comes back to Dad because he knows her game better than anyone. And you know, you asked me the question about why she made that jump, and I had to start it out. I think she became more committed to her tennis. I mean, that's pretty much what I meant. She was traveling a lot on the golf tour, and Rory was traveling a lot on the tennis tour, and I don't think it was doing their careers a whole lot of good, but both of them now are really thriving.
And with that said, and the ability to focus on your tennis, what are the aspects of her game that you think have really solidified and helped this success?
Well, first of all, she's hugging the baseline and a lot better. She used to play 4 or 5 feet behind the baseline, give her opponent so much time, and play almost passively. But she's now stepping in and belting the ball and taking some chances, playing out of the box. And Tracy, you were talking about her serve. I mean, her serve is a lot better than it used to be. She's almost flattened out her swing and not as much spin.
Well, she has so much more confidence in it now as far as hitting it harder and also directionally mixing it up. For a while there, she was just slicing it, hitting around the outside of the ball, kind of spinning it in, and frequently it was to a righty's forehand, so it was so predictable it didn't have anything on it. Now it's much more offensive.
And we've seen her come into the net more.
Yeah.
You know, she's moving forward and taking balls out of the air and just more aggressive
It's almost
personality.
as if she was allergic to the net in the middle of the court for a long part of her career.
Well, she's clearly made the commitment to play with more conviction. She realized that's what she needed. And I think particularly that forehand down the line as well. She's flattened out. She can hit it with authority.
Well, she always had a big windup and hit a lot of spin, and it was effective 5 years ago, but the game has changed so much, and she's now starting to change with it.
14. 15.
Of course, we don't talk about her fitness, but she's never looked in better shape than she has the last 6 months.
Which is funny to say in a lot of ways because she was so known for being able to last and be in matches and endure long contests, but now it would seem the New York City Marathon training has really benefited her as opposed to hurt her.
She's lighter on her feet, though, with being leaner. And she's getting off the mark quicker now.
It just seems to have taken her to another level.
40-30.
And what's interesting, Martina was up here the other day, and she said that she didn't like the fact that she was running a marathon originally because she thought it was going to make her heavy-footed. But then when she heard that Caroline was doing a lot of fast twitch workouts as well, speed work
Interval,
along with
yeah.
along with the marathon work, then it was good. She has the endurance, but yet the quick twitch muscles are working as well.
And a nice performance for Wozniacki. Good pattern of play to get herself to 3-all. And to continue that thought, I think, ladies, ask your opinion about, in lieu of that, even though Caroline was so terrific at running and retrieving, you see a little bit more now. She's more on balance when she gets the ball as opposed to leaning, lunging for balls. She could always get them back in play, but now she can be more aggressive because she's there.
Yeah, she's loading it up on that back foot a lot better.
Stronger core as well. And so because of that, when she gets there, she can be more offensive.
All right, so we got Krista Yavert down for Caroline Wozniacki. Let's talk a little about Aga.
I was going to say we're not giving her any press here, and
No, we're just
personal.
starting. We've gotten
nothing personal. Okay.
Done Wozniacki. Now it's Aga's turn.
Okay, you take one at a time.
One
Is
at a
that
time.
how you do it? Oh, okay.
Develop, unfold as it goes.
Well, she's a very interesting player to me. I mean, one of the more interesting players out there because, you know, we talk about a variety, but she's so crafty, and the touch and the speed and the anticipation that she has, it's a different breed of any other player that I can name. I don't know anybody who plays like her.
I was going to ask you, is she reminiscent of anybody from your era? Was there a player who had that sort of variation to her game, couldn't overpower you, so had to rely on a wealth of other tricks,
Well, probably
so to speak?
Hingis had that ability too, but still, she is one of a kind. You see, she mixes up the pace as far as she can hit soft, medium pace, and then all of a sudden drill the ball too. I mean, she's so unpredictable. That makes her so tough to play against.
Different spins, different links as well. And such an incredible shot maker. That's a human highlight reel.
What would have been your tactic to face a player such as Radwanska, knowing that you're not really going to be able to find a specific rhythm?
I think just to be very alert. I mean, it's a mental thing. You just have to be alert and ready for anything, and expect drop shot, slot. I mean, just be alert.
Kind of a little actually like Yvonne. I mean, they didn't play the same way, but just as far as being expect the unexpected, that's how Yvonne played. It was the slice, then she'd come in, and you'd say, Yvonne, now why would you come in on that shot? But it worked.
And you, I think, watch the ball also, and not necessarily watch her, because she's very acrobatic on the other side of the net. She gets down so low, but just be prepared, and you have to practice a lot of slices and returns of topspin slices, drop shots, everything.
See, that forehand she did not have before, particularly the inside out like that. She always needed to go cross court. Good improvement.
30.
And then alert to look forward and be ready to move in and cut this off.
And she's got to keep dictating, because you can't let Radwanska dictate, because that's when you get into trouble, and that's when she mixes up the pace so well.
So, Chrissy, you had one of the best drop shots ever. So when did you look to do it?
When I played you, I liked to drop shot. I used to use that.
Run, Tracy, run.
You were so lethal at the baseline. I wanted to get you off that baseline. No, I did enjoy drop shotting. Any ball inside the baseline, though. You know, you have to pick the right shot. But I found that the women in my era didn't like moving up and back as much as side to side, so I thought it was a good tactic.
Actually, this era as well.
Yeah.
And the 8th break combined in the match, 5th for Wozniacki. That positions her out front, and now she is just 2 games within moving on with a perfect 2-0 start in Singapore. Of course, triumphant coming off her Legends doubles victory, just as I predicted last night with Marion Bartoli, Tracy Austin.
Come on.
I said that you would come out firing and fierce, and you did. You took down Navratilova and Maioli, and I wrote it down yesterday just to prove it.
And a lot of people in the stands. And you know what? I was just talking to Marion Bartoli, and I was trying to get her to talk about these matches. All she wanted to do was talk about your big doubles match. And she said, say on TV that Tracy aced Martina on her 2nd serve. I said, well, Martina's going to be really mad if I say that, but I guess I had to say it.
Doesn't surprise me, Chrissy. I knew she had it the entire night.
You know that monstrous 2nd serve that I have, Chrissy. We both have, right?
You got to tell me, did you really ace her?
I did.
On the forehand side or the backhand side?
On the forehand. She was standing all the way over like she wanted a forehand. I'm like, okay, if you're going to give me 1 foot on the backhand and 72 on the forehand, I'm going over there.
Legends abound here in Singapore. Caroline Wozniacki trying to protect the lead now. She can get through to 2-0 with a couple games. You know what I take away from that, ladies? It's a shame to see that your competitive edge has dwindled, that you guys still don't want each and every point out there.
I admire you guys for going out there.
Yeah, we want you out here next year.
Right, yeah. Okay, I'll be like, what, 72 next year? Meanwhile, the rallies these two are having is, wouldn't you know, she missed the first shot. But I mean, the rallies have been awesome, and it's just, this court's made perfectly for their games, isn't it? Just have enough time to get their footwork and get set and hit a strong ball.
I usually don't think of indoors as being slow. I mean, usually it's on the quicker side historically.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's why we've seen Kvitova has had such great results indoors. She likes the surface to be faster.
Her major accomplishments coming on relatively quick courts.
Wimbledon.
Both Wimbledon.
Winning this event as well back in 2011.
It'll be an interesting match, the next one, with Maria Sharapova, Kvitova, 2 power players, completely different than these two.
And these instinctively counterpunchers, retrievers. The next 2 very aggressive, looking for that first strike.
No challenge.
Yeah, I think Caroline so far has done a better job at opening the court. She's really angling the balls nicely and hitting to the open court, getting Radwanska on the run. That's an example, Tracy, of the first serve that's improved so much with pace and placement.
40-30.
And I think she seems to have flattened it out.
Absolutely, and she's using her legs more. And she was asked in press what her dad came out and said during the Sharapova match. And she said, he told me to bend my legs on my serve a little bit more and push up.
That works. The recipe for Caroline Wozniacki, again, just steady, very consistent. Today she's played some solid tennis. Again, +2 in the differential, Chrissy. 20 winners to 18 errors. And, you know, they say slow and steady wins the race. Well, she's certainly not slow, but she is definitely the latter.
She's just played the bigger points better as well. Towards the end of that first set, she was the stronger of the 2.
For Radwanska to come up with a hold to give herself a shot to be viable here in Singapore.
Oh, she hit it right back to her. Talking about slow and steady. Now, we know Caroline's not going to be slow in the marathon, but she was talking to us, Chrissy, right before our match about the marathon. She said she's a little nervous.
Yeah, she said, I don't think actually training-wise she's run close to 26 miles. Not even half that.
I think she said she's run once half that distance.
Yeah,
because
only
she
once,
doesn't want
right.
to run too much during this Asian swing and leading up to the the finals.
It's coming up next week. It's
November 2nd.
very quickly.
That'll be the interesting part, because if she makes the final on Sunday, and it's a week later, and you have to make that trip, which is exactly halfway as far as time. It's a 12-hour time difference between here and New York City. She's certainly given herself a challenge.
You're right. I mean, she's doing an awful lot of running this week. Let's put it that way. With this court being slower, the rallies are longer, and she's put herself in a good position to make the final.
And certainly the step she needed to make today to get herself in contention for the semifinals. She has triple match point as Radwanska is pulled back a bit. Wozniacki sensing that vulnerability, ready to pounce. Finds her way to victory, pun intended. She runs away with the match, grabbing the last 4 games. And Caroline Wozniacki is a perfect 2-0 and a return to the WTA Finals as the good friends embrace at the net just as the match started. Warm smiles and pleasantries between them. But today, Caroline Wozniacki improves to 7-4 lifetime against Radwanska.
A very clean match for Wozniacki, and she's glad this one's done in 2 sets. And in 1 hour and 46 minutes, unlike Sharapova match, 3 hours and 13 minutes. And that helps. You never know with this round-robin system. If you get down to a tie, sets become very important.
And now, ladies, she cheers for the player that she beat, because if Sharapova defeats Kvitova in the next match, that means that Caroline is a semifinalist in 2014. For Agnieszka Radwanska, well, she'll saunter off to the locker room with what could have been. She still has another match to go. We'll see her return to these courts here in Singapore, but the day belongs to sunshine. She was the brighter of the two today. Caroline is standing by to talk with Andrew Krasny.
Caroline, a few exchange of breaks in the first sets, a little nerves to work through there, but obviously came out the victor there. Talk to us a little bit about the match.
I knew from the start that this wasn't going to be an easy match. This was going to be a match with a lot of long rallies and some incredible shot making. So I came out there a little bit nervous, but you know, I just did my best out there. And sometimes I was like, Aga, how did you play that ball? You know, that was ridiculous. But you know, that's just her game. She has such a good touch.
You talk about fitness this year. You're fitter than you've ever been. 3-hour, 13-minute match a couple of days against Maria a couple of days ago. Just shows that you came right back as if it never occurred and had a ton of energy. What a fight today.
Yeah, it was a really tough fight today. I was expecting like 3 hours again today. So 1 hour and 45, I guess, is good. But, you know, I'm ready for everything. I'm running a marathon in 10 days. So, you know, if I can't stand here in the court, there's no chance I'm going to finish the marathon.
Caroline, a finalist here in 2010. How much would it mean to you on an emotional level to hold up that Billie Jean King trophy?
It would mean so much to me. Everyone wants to be here when we start the year. So to hold out that trophy would mean so much to me.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Caroline Wozniacki today, everybody. An amazing match.
Well, without question, if she is able to triumph and hold up the Billie Jean King trophy amongst her now 22, that would be her 23rd career title. It would be the biggest of her career, and she's taking the right steps forward. A perfect record. Match in the books on day 4 in Singapore.